Hi, in this video, we are going to do the revenue analysis for Costco. So our example this time is Costco. Okay, so first thing we want to do, I am in the income statement variance analysis. No, I'm not. Now I am in the income statement variance analysis. And Costco calls their income statement the consolidated statements of income. So my variance is my Costco's revenue went up 11 billion, because remember this is in millions, and 7.29%. So I'm just going to copy this over to my revenue analysis so I have it and I don't have to keep flipping back and forth. Okay, so I'm going to title this Costco revenue analysis, and I'm going to start my analysis with revenue increased 11 billion. Oh, I can say 11.1 billion and 7.29%. If you just said 7%, that would be fine as well. Due to, all right, now I got to go find out why my revenue increased. So I'm going to go to the 10K and look in the management discussion and analysis section. So I'm going to open a new window. I'm going to go to the SEC website, which is at sec.gov. You can see that right here. Then I'm going to go to company filings, and I'm going to type in the ticker symbol for Costco, which I already looked up and I know is COST, Costco Wholesale Group. All right, then filing type, I'm going to go to 10K. All right, so Costco's, let me just go back and make sure I am dealing with their September 1st, 2019 filing. And that's the top one here. So that's the one I'm going to go to. I want to make sure I'm comparing like years to like years. Now, if you remember, when we downloaded financial statements into Excel, we used interactive data. But for the revenue analysis, to get to the management discussion and analysis section of the 10K, we're going to go to documents. So I'm going to open this up. I will not ever print this out because it's 100 pages long or more, and I'd be super sad. All right, so I'm going to scroll down to my table of contents, and I like this because it has links. And item 7 is management discussion and analysis. So I'm going to click on that, and they're going to take me, here's an overview. They're going to tell me a lot of really great information, but it's not what I need for this analysis. I can always go back and read this on my own if I want to, but I'm looking for where they tell us about revenue. Oh, here we go, net sales. So net sales, we have changes in net sales. We have it by region. They do US, Canada, other international. And down here is where they tell us net sales increased 10.917 or 8%, which is due to a 6% increase in comparable sales and sales at new warehouses. Changes in foreign currency negative impacted net sales by 1.63%. There was also a change related to revenue recognition. And comparable sales down here, it talks about, see, it says comparable sales here, increased 6%. Okay. So then if I go down, it's also going to talk about membership fees, which are part of the revenue. And they said the increase in membership fee was primarily due to membership signups at existing and new warehouses and a fee increase. And then it goes down here to gross margin. So I'm going to want all of this. So I want everything they said about net sales. I'm just going to put this over here in my revenue analysis so I have it handy. And then I also want everything they said about membership fees. And the other thing I'm going to get, because Costco's a retail store, and retail store is really the main place where you're going to see this idea of comparable stores. And I think they told us up here about some new store openings. So we opened 25 new warehouses, including 5 relocations. Oh, this is actually the summary of what happened up here. So I'm going to take this as well. Oh, but what I was saying is you only see this comparable store thing really in retail. You see it a lot, grocery stores, other kind of retail. And basically what it says is, retail stores are always opening and closing stores. So to really get an idea of how the business is doing, they do a comparable sales or comparable stores analysis. So it basically says, if you look at just the stores that were open the entire year, so not the new stores that opened, not the stores that closed, just the stores that were open all 12 months of the year, how did we do? And what they're saying here is new store sales increased 6%, or comparable stores opened 6%. So then the rest of the increase within store sales has to do with stores opening, or it may be if they closed a bunch of stores that negatively impacted overall revenue from the stores. But comparable stores tells you what actually happened for stores that were open all 12 months. And it's useful because otherwise your data can get very skewed if you have a lot of stores opening and closing. All right. So I think it's going to be important to know that they opened some new stores. I'm going to highlight that. This is important. The comparable sales and sales at new warehouses. And then membership fee increased due to this. Oh, they've really, really summarized it well for us, haven't they? So I can still go read all of this, but really this is the gist of what I want. So I'm going to say increase due to an 8% increase in net sales, primarily related, so this is where I'm adding some of my own words, so I'm not just copying and pasting, related to a 6% increase in comparable sales, plus an increase in new locations. Costco opened 25 new warehouses in 2019. Okay. And then the increase in revenue is also partially due to the increase in membership fee revenue due to new memberships and an annual fee increase in the US and Canada. Okay, so if I was going to say this in my own words, I would say, hey, at their stores that were open all 12 years, they sold 6% more. And they also opened new stores. So presumably, if people were buying more at the existing stores, they were going to buy more at the new stores as well. There was also an increase in the membership, and so it was more people signing up at existing stores, plus they increased the actual amount of the fees. So I think it went from 50 to 55 or something. I don't know. I don't have the fancy executive membership. So that's really what's going on with Costco. Most of what they're getting from is just because people are buying more at Costco. It'll be interesting to see how this shakes out in the following year, because a lot of us for a while couldn't buy TP at Costco, but I think we bought everything else. All right. So again, I can keep all of this if I want to keep it just to show, where I got it. But this is what's important. This paragraph that I wrote myself, I used a lot of the verbiage that Costco used, but I didn't just copy and paste it, right? I kind of pieced it together myself. That's all you need to do. So this would really be right here, all you would need to turn in, but if you want to include more, I'm totally fine with that as well. All right, so that is our Costco revenue analysis.